Mike, I saw you exchange jerseys with Luka last night. Is that your first time meeting him?
Yeah, it was my first time. I've been to a couple of games, and I was I let it go to an event, so I had reached out to him and said, I'm gonna use that jersey, especially after this year. He dropped 40 last night, so it was a great game to go to too. So
I know you're someone who strives to be great and you appreciate greatness. Was it cool to meet someone like that who's just right around your age, just on the upswing of their career?
Yeah, I said it to him. I said, I'm still shocked to this day that we're the same age, and the things that you're accomplishing doing in this league is pretty phenomenal. So it was great to meet him and Cuban and all those guys back there. So it was a great experience for me.
Like I was talking to J-Ron about this team's ability to not overlook opponents even when you guys are favored in a big way. Mm-hmm. Why is that you think this group is able? What is it about this group that is able to say, you know what, it doesn't matter that we're favored by 10 Sunday against the Colts, we're going to still be ready to go when it matters?
Just because I think, it can always be the opposite end, and the underdog is a too powerful story, and, that means people going to come here and play with a chip on their shoulder. So, and I think people play the Cowboys differently. So when you play Pittsburgh Steelers, you're not going to come in and play the Cowboys. They understand it's a primetime game, understand who we are, and not many teams like us. So we got to play every team to a maximum extent and not overlook no one, because that's how upsets happen, and we just got to go out and be us.
When did you learn that people play you guys differently?
Just looking at the tape and just, the things you see on the tape versus the things you see out there on the field, and, obviously, the extra behavior that teams play with and the edge they play with when they play us versus other teams.
You all have had a stretch facing really good running backs lately. How is Jonathan Taylor different or similar to the guys you've been seeing?
Just another good running back. Very explosive, especially hitting the hole, very fast. Extremely strong guy. We're going to have to wrap up, get to the ground, and not let him try to fall forward, what he tends to do. He's our rushing leader from last year, so he shows a great threat, and we got to take care of the threat.
Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, we talked so much about some of the runners you guys were going to see in recent weeks. Is it fair to say maybe you haven't necessarily fixed the run defense, but you're figuring some things out right now?
I guess we'll see this week. Only actions can do. Talk don't really do it, so we got to go out there and try to hold them to the minimum extent as possible.
How do you think you're having more success?
Just understanding that teams going to do that, and I think, you kind of hope that teams don't play run screen game and, hey, let's just see if we could just wear them down, or let's see if, they make more mistakes than we do and just try to control the game and, manage the clock and manage the points. But, teams don't really want to drop back and pass anymore, at least against us. When you're saying 50 pass attempts the week before, then, they come in and throw only 20 times. So it's hard to tell, but we understand what that is, and I think right now we've done seen everything we need to see, so we always play for the unexpected.
How is Taylor different than Barkley and Cook? What's the key to stopping him?
He's just more downhill, more forward. He got that extra juice at the end. He's always falling forward, whether Cook and Saquon are way more elusive. I would put Jonathan Taylor more power back, a smaller D. Henry, so just in those ways.
Considering you prefer that? You prefer that?
What?
A physical downhill guy rather than elusive guy?
So it don't really matter to me. Still got to play him.
Right.
What's Dan telling you guys about Matt Ryan, given his experience with him in Atlanta?
The things his tendencies really likes to do, what to expect, what he's good at, his superpowers, and, just really on that line of just how he plays.
Do you feel like this is the most extensive breakdown of a quarterback you've gotten so far, given his familiarity?
Not really, because, it's more of a team thing. It's not like he breaks it down to us. Maybe that's more DB talk, but, us rushers and things like that, we look at the O-line more than the QB.
How big would turnovers be in a game like this, considering Ryan leads the league in fumbles as a quarterback?
Turnovers in general, regardless of any game, is extremely important. Turnover gets the ball back to our offense. Turnovers gets us, off the field. And, the more points we could help our offense produce, the more time we're going to get to rush, So getting those early turnovers and, stuffing out the run is going to let us do our superpower.
Micah, can you sense when a sack is coming, when you're going to get home? Do you have any kind of feeling?
I do get a little twitch. You kind of like it's almost a feeling, especially it's kind of easier if you beat a guy the first time because he's probably going to anticipate. Usually people like to do the same thing twice, so you think ahead of the game, oh, he's going to be expecting this. And if it's the right play, you got a shot. But that's the kind of games you play. And yeah, I promise. I usually try to do 8 different moves to see which one works the best, and I'll go back to the one that work on the chance where it might be a second and long, no chips and things like that. So you got a chance, you just got to execute it.
We saw one of those behind-the-scenes deals, like DeMarcus game. You say, "Hey, I'd bet because the guy this time, and you're going to get him on the." Does DeMarcus do that a lot to you to kind of give you any kind of little tips? Do they work?
Yeah, I mean, I think in whole, when you're not out there, you're like, what do you see? What is the O-lineman doing? What's the feedback? And we all give each other feedback just because, what might be a weakness to you, that might be a strength to someone else. If I don't do power and DA do power, I'll be like, he's suitable for power, he's just floating, he's a long arm. So you kind of get feedback to your teammates, so everyone's eating and, and it just really helps the room.
That feedback, you're doing more of that this year than last year? Just because you guys are more comfortable with each other?
Yeah, and I think everyone's learning. Everyone's learning how each other's rushing. I'm still learning the position. I mean, I think every game, every opponent, you learn something new about yourself and what you're capable of. And, so the feedback and execution and, learning, like I still help, other rushers, and I'm new to it and what I like to do and what helps me and what I see, and they, help me what they see and what I think they do well. So, that feedback and just keeps growing and growing and growing.
You mentioned trying things and then coming back to what works. As you know, you've had every game you've had a sack, you've had 2 sacks. How much do you think that's related? Just your ability to remember what worked and what didn't, and what's that process like in game where you're assessing how you're going to go forward?
Like I said, I come out and just try to do different variations of moves. I really just want to see how they're going to play, especially throughout the first 15. They're going to try tricks, gadgets, play actions, boots, all type of things, no true dropbacks. So just really understanding. I try to use my superpower, which is the speed, try to go some speed to see if they're suitable to speed. If I can't beat the edge, I'm like, okay, well, is the inside there? If he's staying heavy on the inside, is his arms wide? There's just a lot of keys that I'm starting to pick up on and realizing. And once I'm able to exploit that, then they're like, oh, wow, when someone figures out the game plan, they're like, now we have to switch it. And at that point, I got them exactly where I wanted, So, and I got good playback memory. So I can kind of remember how he set me, how I lost. Was my hands wrong? Did I miss my hands? And those type of things just to help me, because you remember more than when you lose than when you win. So,
How do you remember all the plays in a game?
just about how I did. If I lost, if I missed my hand, I'd be like, oh crap, like I just wasted a rep. If he clamped me down, I'm like, damn, he did something really good right there. I might have to get wider, I might have to get coming closer, I might have to take a step towards him, maybe take a step up the field. Just different variations.
And remembering that doesn't distract you from the next play?
No, because my job is very clean. Just get to the quarterback. I don't have to think too much. If he's coming at me, I'm like, oh, it's a run. If he's a little timid, if I see his foot twitching, I got him a little scared. I got him beat. At that point, you got to win.
Finish up with Mike. Damone, he's had an unusual rookie year where he had missed all that time, but he's come on. What have you seen of him and just the way he's handled everything? And can you maybe put some context on just how difficult it is to miss the time that he's missed and then, play the type of snaps that he's played?
Yeah, I mean, I could almost relate to Damone. I remember he's calling me after he just got drafted. We under the same agent, and he's like, hey, man, like, how should I approach this? I was like, really, just have fun. I was like, do you think you come back this year? He was like, no, I don't know, and I heard his cries and his hurt. So for me, I'm just proud of him for the things, how hard he worked to get back. And when I opted out of my junior year to declare, OTAs and, camp was rough, trying to find your identity again, find your movements. It's a different type of thing from training for it and playing for it. And, so the hard work he's put in, the questions he's asking me, the questions he's asking Leighton, he's out there getting scout team reps so he could get better in game shape, get better game play, understand what he's trying to do. So I mean, the hard work and the mental space for a rookie at least is, second to none, way above where I was at when I was coming in. So extremely proud of him. He's a guy who really wants it. So, I have nothing but great things to say about him.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.